Boy Salamin, aka Saad, we coming to you today with a new video. I'm pretty excited to do this video. Haven't done any reaction videos in a while because I've been doing gaming mostly. But yeah, let's get to it. Hope you guys like this video. Let's reach to 10,000 likes. Hit the smash button. Let's make it. If we make it to 10,000 likes, I'll make something even better for you guys. I promise. Alright, not further ado, subscribe, share it, and tell your friends about it. Come on, it helps my channel grow tremendously, and I really can thank you guys as much as I can thank you for the 1,000 subscribers. It's a milestone, and I'm looking to improve and making better content for you. Nevertheless, let's jump into it. It's a video about the 9 most horrifying stories, and I think it's kind of like we're already living in a horror, with everything that's going on. That's basically a horror movie, but not further ado, let's just skip the track and just get to it, yo boy, alright? Let's get into it. So 9 real-life horror stories that will ruin your day. Oh my god, let's see. My dead girlfriend. Number 9. Alright, let's do the countdown.
On July 1st, 2014, in the No Sleep subreddit, Reddit user Nathan wrote a post claiming his dead girlfriend, Emily, is sending him messages on Facebook. Emily died on the 7th of August, 2012 in a car collision. On September 4th, 2013, he received the first of what was to be many messages from his dead girlfriend. It began with a simple hello. According to Nathan, only he and Emily's mother shared admin privileges of Emily's Facebook account. But when it became clear it was not Emily's mother sending the messages, Nathan assumed one of his late girlfriend's friends had hacked into the account. A couple of months later, a second set of messages appeared on Emily's account. Nathan immediately recognized that the messages were snippets of previous conversations he and Emily had posted through Facebook. Then, all of a sudden, things became even more chilling. Nathan began receiving notifications that Emily had tagged herself in a photo. He recognized that Emily would tag herself in spaces where it was plausible for her to be, or where she would usually stand. He contacted Facebook, and they told him that the locations her Facebook page had been accessed from since her death were locations that she had been before, such as his home and her mom's home. He changed the Facebook password multiple times and even turned on two-factor authentication. Still, the messages from Emily continued and began to take on a more ominous tone. As the frequency of messages from Emily increased, he became more concerned. Until all of a sudden, Emily used her first original word, a word that had not been recycled from old Facebook messages. It's the freezing, I don't know what's happening here that really makes our blood run cold. Finally, Nathan memorialized Emily's page in effect, closing down access to the Facebook account. This post appeared soon thereafter. This series of messages was especially disturbing for Nathan, as parts of the conversation were recycled messages taken from his last post made on the night Emily died. But it still wasn't enough for Emily to rest in peace, because she sent Nathan another message. And in this one, she posted a photo which she had taken of him from behind a half-closed door. A photo which, Nathan says, was taken at a time when nobody else was there in the house with him. Dude. That's my door. That's my computer. It's taken from outside. Help.
My thoughts on number 9 is crazy as it sounds. This sounds of like it could be somebody that hacked into it, and it's possibly it is. There is no way that a ghost or someone that died comes back to life and start doing all this crazy shit. Like literally, unless his girlfriend didn't actually die and she was pranking him, but the story goes as she's dead, literally dead. And a year later, she's like texting him out of a random shit that is. Even her mom changed it into 2 authentication and is still doing the same thing. Yo guys, this is crazy stuff, man. I'm already starting to get goosebumps and shit with this. But not further ado, let's get back into it. Let's see which one can give me the most goosebumps. Because I'm I don't want to keep watching this. I'm all alone at home right now. I don't want to turn around and somebody's actually texting a picture of me. That is creepy as shit. I don't know how I can even explain that. The only thing is a hacker that actually can explain that, because maybe a camera from there into the living room, he hacked into it, and then it was trying to just play him a prank, since he's on PC all the time. But now, without further ado, let's finish it up and go to AK.
On October 26, 1965, Indianapolis police answered a call saying that a girl had died. The caller was a teenage boy who sounded very nervous and directed the police to the address 3850 East New York Street. When the cops got to the dingy, run-down, clapboard home, they found the emaciated, dead body of 16-year-old Sylvia Marie Likens. She was covered with bruises and small wounds, later revealed to be cigarette and match burns that numbered over 100. There were also large areas where the outer layer of skin had peeled off. Sylvia also had a large numeral 3 branded on her chest. However, the most remarkable injuries by far were the words in block letters that had been burned directly onto her stomach. "I'm a prostitute and proud of it." It all started when Likens' parents, who were carnival workers, had left her and her sister Jenny in the care of the Baniszewski family for $20 a week, 3 months before her death. But when one of their checks arrived late, Baniszewski took out her frustration by beating the girls. Weeks of escalating horror followed. The attacks focused almost exclusively on Sylvia. Several of Baniszewski's children and a gaggle of neighborhood kids, some as young as 10, watched or joined in. Baniszewski encouraged them to torment Sylvia, including, among other things, extinguishing lit cigarettes upon her skin, beating her, tying her up, burning her with scalding water, rubbing salt into her raw wounds, forcing her to eat feces and other substances that would cause her to vomit, forcing her to remove her clothes and insert a glass Coca-Cola bottle into her vagina.
Oh, jeez. Oh my god. What am I watching? Yo, number 8, I think, honestly, guys, number 8 takes the cake. This is so creepy. That is so creepy. I do not want any person to be in that position. You know, there's a lot of people around the internet that they are freaking weirdos and stuff, but to actually see a story I'm shocked. I'm shocked. The amount of people that encouraged this and did this to her, it's insane, dude. I'm not even gonna comment on that. Let's just pass it and go to number 7. It's insane.
On February 2nd, 1959, 9 ski hikers were found dead on the East Shoulder Mountain, Kolatsiakl, Russia, eerily called the Mountain of Death by the indigenous Mansi people. From the evidence at the scene, it appeared that the hikers had cut open their tents from the inside and fled into the wilderness in just their socks or bare feet. One of the hikers had major skull damage, while a couple more had multiple chest fractures. Despite this, none of the corpses had any signs of a struggle. It gets weirder. Their bodies were stained orange, with massive internal injuries from a force that a doctor studying the incident compared to that of a car crash. And one of the ski hikers was found with her head tilted back, her stretched mouth wide as if emitting a silent scream. Upon closer inspection, the rescuers realized that her tongue had been ripped out by the root, and she was also missing her eyes. As you'd imagine, all sorts of theories to the cause of the deaths have been tried and tested over the years, but the final verdict was that the hikers died of a compelling natural force. What does that even mean? Never has something so ambiguous been so horrifying.
Yo, honestly, I can tell from like what is going on that this is actually a deer. I don't know if it's a deer, because sometimes they say there's deers that can actually go, like reindeers that can really go crazy, especially like during mating season. I heard something about that. They would do anything. They would they don't know what they're doing, that they would kill stuff and do other things. because they're in mating season and they're like horny as hell and they do crazy things. But I mean, it's in North Siberia or somewhere. I didn't really catch the last glimpse of it, but honestly, it could be anything. It could be anything. I really don't know. And something to be not human to do that, it would be like really hard. I would say it's gotta be a deer, or well, wolves, they would eat them. It makes no sense to just leave the bodies there, honestly, or a bear. But it's still, it doesn't make any sense. I have to pass. But that one actually gave me goosebumps, guys. Like the last one. Oh my god, we're only scratching the surface. Oh
There's
God,
always that moment of
movies.
dread when you stick one foot out from under your covers as you envisage a paranormal activity-style death being dragged down the stairs. You have an instinctive worry with what's under your bed from a young
that's
age,
pretty true.
even though nothing has ever been under there. One particularly disturbing case was in 2003 when a guest noticed a foul smell in his room at the Capri Motel, Kansas City, and complained to staff. After 3 nights of opening windows and no doubt gallons of Febreze, the stench would not leave, causing the poor guest to vomit in the room. When cleaning crew began shifting
damn.
furniture to clean the puke, they found the decomposing corpse of a man wearing only a nun's wimple and fishnet stockings. To repeat, he slept in that bed for 3 nights.
What the hell? I can't believe it. That actually probably why American Horror took that one. There's that episode, I don't know if you guys ever, write it down in the comment what episode was it. American Horror Story, it was, I think it was Lady Gaga in it. And they were going to a hotel, I remember the bed had somebody, like dead person in between the bed, like the mattress. But that's crazy, like how a dead person, how can you like put a dead person inside of a mattress? You gotta be like insane, like really, really insane, like out of your mind. Like I don't understand it. Like that is so creepy. That is so creepy, guys. Oh my god, let's get back to it. That gave me goosebumps. I don't know how am I gonna sleep tonight.
On January
I've heard
25,
this story.
2014,
Oh my
the Indianapolis
God.
Star published a lengthy report
Oh
on
my
a
God.
family terrorized
Yeah, I
by
remember
3
this
children
story.
allegedly possessed by demons.
I remember,
The account of
I remember
Latoya
this story.
Ammons and her
Guys,
family
no, I
tells
don't wanna
disturbing
listen to
stories
this. I
of
don't
children
know.
climbing up the walls, getting thrown across rooms, and children threatening doctors in deep, unnatural voices. It would seem like something straight out of a movie, except all of these accounts were more or less corroborated with nearly 800 pages of official records obtained by the Indianapolis Star and recounted in more than a dozen interviews with police, DCS personnel, psychologists, family members, and a Catholic priest. One of the more chilling sections of the report includes a segment about the possessed 9-year-old. According to Washington's original DCS report, the 9-year-old had a weird grin and
I'm
walked
getting
backward
goosebumps.
up a wall to the
I don't wanna
ceiling.
watch this.
He then flipped over Campbell, landing on his
No.
feet. He never let go of his grandmother's hand.
So, I do remember that story from Indiana where actually somebody is dead there. I mean, not dead, sorry. They were doing exorcism on it. It was 3 people. The story goes like, the problem started with the daughter, and every time they would do the daughter, somehow it would move to the sister, and somehow it was sister, then the whole family got, like, it's a weird, I don't know, infection, and it's like, but they got demonically possessed by, like, I don't know how, but, like, as I say in, like, life, there is entities always, like, there's got to be people around us, demonic entities, you know, that they would take over us when we are in our weakest. Calls from the dead. Ooh.
On September 12, 2008, 2 trains collided in the Chatsworth district of Los Angeles, killing 25 people in the crash. One of the passengers
damn, I
on
did
board
hear
was
that,
Charles
like, when I
E.
was
Peck, who was traveling from Salt Lake City for a job interview in LA. His hopes were high on landing the job as his fiancée, Andrea Katz, lived in California and he planned to marry her if he was hired. During the next 11 hours, Peck's mobile phone sent numerous calls to his fiancée, son, brother, stepmother, and sister. Overall, his loved ones received a total of 35 calls. However, each time they answered, they only heard static. When they called back, the calls went straight to voicemail. The family could only be optimistic and assumed Charles was alive in the wreckage and calling for help. When the search team finally traced Peck's phone signal and discovered his body in a lead passenger car, where most major injuries and deaths occurred, they reported that Charles had died on impact and that he couldn't have possibly made the calls. What's even stranger is that they never found the phone.
Yo, that is creepy. I'm like getting chills right now.
On the night of March 31st, 1922, the 6 residents of Hinterkaifeck, a small farmstead in Germany, were murdered with a mattock. The victims were Andreas and Cecilia Gruber, their widowed daughter Victoria, her children Cecilia and Josef, and the maid Maria Baumgartner. The Grubers' earlier maid left the family 6 months earlier, having claimed the home was haunted. And days before the murder, Andreas told neighbors he'd discovered a strange set of footprints in the snow leading from the forest to the home, but not back. He'd also heard footsteps in the attic, and a set of keys went missing. Based on the crime scene found days after the murders, investigators believed the family was led one by one into the barn to be killed before the murderer killed the maid and young Josef in the house. It is believed that the perpetrator remained at the farm for several days. Someone had fed the cattle and eaten food in the kitchen. The neighbors had also seen smoke from the chimney during the weekend. As creepy as it sounds, the killer was never found.
Yo, that one you gotta let me know. But that one actually took the cake. Number 3, to actually know that somebody is haunting your farm and then to come and lead you to the barn and kill each person and has the freaking irony, oh my God, has the irony to sit there for a week, feed the cattle, take care of the farm. I mean, what is else? He should just clean up the house for them and put them back in bed and tuck them in. I mean, come on, seriously, I am having a hard time believing this, but it sounds really truthful, and all the pictures lead up to it, so I'm like, kind of like, whatever, let's keep it.
Jack Froist died of a heart arrhythmia in June 2011 at the age of 32. Tragic, but nothing unusual about the story, yet. In November the same year, Jack's friends each received an email from his account, signed with his name. His friends and family are adamant no one knew his passwords. One email implored his friend to clean his attic, which related to a private conversation the two had had shortly before his death. An email to his cousin read, "I knew you were going to break your ankle," an injury that had occurred just a week before the email arrived. Probably a sick hacker, but Jack's relatives and friends said they still have no explanation for the messages and have given up hope trying to find one.
I'm not gonna buy that story. There's 2 times of the hackers doing the same thing.
Probably the most notorious killer clown in human history, John Wayne Gacy was a Chicago serial killer responsible for the murders of at least 33 young boys. He buried most of the bodies in the crawl space of his house, in his yard, and when he started to run out of space, he dumped them in a nearby river. As Pogo the Clown, Gacy performed at children's parties during his time off from working as a building contractor. In 1972, he brought a teenage boy named Timothy McCoy to his house and killed him. He would go on to lure dozens more to his home, then torture, rape, and murder them. He was later caught in 1978. Imprisoned for life, he started a second career as a painter, creating images of himself in full clown makeup.
Yo, that's that is honestly crazy. I don't know what to tell you guys, but yeah, I think number one and definitely number 8 was the craziest stories I've ever heard, because it includes like rape, torture, and all that gory stuff, and murdering other people. That is definitely not only a horror story, but it should be made a movie. Like, it's the irony of somebody leading poor kids and torturing them and then killing them and then doing whatever. It's just mind-boggling. But yeah, that was really scary, guys. Write down in the comments which one you think it was the scariest from 1 to 9. Let me know. I told you already which one I think, no, I didn't like, but it was the most scary. Yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share it, you like it, commentate on it. Yeah, just, let the algorithm know I'm here, man. I'm here for you guys, all right? Not further ado, this is Sami. I'm signing out to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.